So this is Judge Vivian here today. I'm just going to give my quick overview like I always do. Welcome to As the Law Turns. It is a legal-based conversation where we sit down and we discuss some of the current events. And this week, we are doing what we're calling a Law Turns Roundtable. So we have invited a guest to join us in our conversations tonight. We are, of course, waiting for your comments in the comment section. Quick introduction of myself. As you all know, my name is Vivian Williams. I work in the 7th Judicial Circuit of the state of Florida as a public defender. We do not suck. I am awesome. I have been in this capacity for about 4.5 years. I love it. And I hate it, but I love it. And I'm really excited to be joined by a great judge who's been on the bench for over 13 years, who I had the pleasure of being in front of for at least 6 months. And I got my first Black girl courtroom. Judge Fields, who will introduce herself in just a moment. And then we'll have Ms. Shantae Perry introduce herself. And then we'll get into our 3 fun topics for this afternoon. So hop on, and here is Judge Fields.
I must just say, Judge Vivian, you look fabulous. Could you look any more fabulous? And I'm not so bad myself this afternoon. I have a long name now. The Honorable Judge Dawn Pam Fields, parentheses, retired. I retired December 31st, 2020, after 14 years on the bench, 13 or 14 years as a high school math teacher, prosecutor here in Volusia County, and 8 years as a math teacher. So after 32 years in the state system, I retired. I'm honored. Ms. Vivian asked me to be on, like a year ago, asked me to be on this live podcast show that she has. And the purpose is to increase the minority interest in law-related things like probation officer or judge or lawyer or assistant public defender, prosecutor, private attorney. And so I am honored to be here. Like I said, I'm now retired, and I'm starting to cook some vegetarian stuff, spending time watching Boys on the Beach, and kind of brushing up on a little law just in case I want to go back. So I am honored to be here, and we have really fun topics tonight. Yay. Thank you for joining us.
And we're also going to let our guest, Ms. Shantae Perry, introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shantae Perry. I'm an assistant public defender in the 9th Judicial Circuit. That's Orange and Osceola County. I practice mainly in Orange County. I've been doing this for about 3.5 years, and I agree with Vivian. We do not suck. I love the job. The pandemic has made it a bit challenging, but I'm honored to be here, and can't wait to get started.
So, guys, guess what we have for you tonight? These are our topics. Today's weekly topics are Roots kidnapping, a jaywalking death, and wheelchair robbery. Now, I know those titles are a little salacious, but hey, I had to get your attention. I'm sure. But we're going to start with the Roots kidnapping. Now, this caught my attention because I was reading, I think it was the Shade Room, ladies. And on the Shade Room, it said, apparently this Black guy got into some kind of argument. He felt racial encounter with a white woman and her daughter. And in an effort to educate them, he convinced them to join him through force. This is the lawyer speaking, guys.
Yes, tasting those words.
Join him through force in his home, where he allegedly, the charges is that he allegedly forced them to watch the movie Roots. Now, I don't know if anybody has seen the movie Roots, knows what the movie Roots is about, but here's a quick history. Slavery. See, it was it. That's quick.
That was it. Bravo. Sure. Bravo. Slavery.
Essentially the story of slavery. And apparently this was his version of getting them to be educated about their racial bias and their issues and their racism. And now I wanted to find more on this. I really did. I was searching high and low to different websites, trying to see if there was any extended things to this story, how these two met, were they neighbors? Like, I was trying to figure that kind of stuff out. I wasn't able to get it. But any of my ladies on the round table, what were you able to
It
get
was
from that?
something about an on and off volatile relationship for a number of years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years,
Yeah.
and several injunctions or injunction related calls. So it was a history of violence, if you will. And I believe the gentleman was drinking when the police arrived. Is that what you have, Shantae?
Yeah, he was intoxicated when they arrived, and she managed to call 911 by just leaving the call open, I guess, because every time she tried to leave or call 911, he's, threats to kill. He threatened to kill her, etc. So he
Both of
really
them.
wanted to educate
And
her.
it's a daughter, 12 years old, 10-year-old daughter.
There
Yeah.
was a 12-year-old daughter.
And I know all of us being attorneys, we shudder about how people can get into these situations like this. We always want to say never us, but I can imagine a scenario that one thing leads to another, if you will, and everybody's drinking and everybody's beating their chest, and she makes a flip comment uncalled for. He doesn't like it, and he makes her stay and watch Roots. Now, my issue is it illegal kidnapping, false imprisonment? I mean, that's not shade, Judge Vivian. That's just kind of like, what you doing in a man's house? That's not shade just yet. What you doing in a man's house? And as he's turning on Roots, do you say not no, but heck no, I'm going? Now this man is charged with kidnapping and harassment in the first degree. The laws are different in every state for the listeners. Some fees have a misdemeanor. So this state is like a kidnapping and the harassment in the first degree. We're Florida lawyers, so we don't really know what that means.
I think Florida-wise, I would put this on false imprisonment. I'm just saying, this is for me. For me, I would put this under false imprisonment because false imprisonment requires quick thing, guys. I'm gonna put the banner down here. We are not attorneys. This is not legal advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Anyhow, I want to throw it out here. So we are in Florida. Floridian law, I think this falls more under false imprisonment due to the fact that false imprisonment means that you were in the space, you were both supposed to be in the space, you were both okay with being in the space, and then all of a sudden somebody, as it sounds like happened in this particular instance, said, you can't go. You ain't going nowhere, and blocked all your exits. Which is why I'm thinking this is like more like false imprisonment. That's the way I'm going.
What if they force them from one room to another in the house? Does that make any difference when it comes to kidnapping? Or if they force them from outside of the house, inside of the house, does it then make it kidnapping?
I have to say my favorite word in the kidnapping and in the theft statute is asportation. So
secretly confining,
any form of asportation can be considered enough movement for larceny. So I don't know why putting them in a different room can be considered,
Okay, so I'm in this house with this guy that was a bad relationship for 2 or 3 years. You public defenders, and he's turning on the TV and we're talking. Probably he's drinking, I'm talking, we're getting loud, and he says, you're going to watch Roots. And I said, I'm not going to watch Roots. He said, sit down, you're going to watch Roots. No, I'm not going to watch Roots. I'm going. How does it progress from that to a real case of kidnapping and false imprisonment, as opposed to false stupidity or just did I say that?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, that was kind of shady. Well, how are you doing that? And then when the police come, you're somewhere down in the basement. And I think my thing is this, and I don't want to say women. People get themselves into these kind of situations, and now the law has to settle this issue. That the issue could have been some boyfriend girlfriend fight gone bad, and now you all are paid attorneys, paid by the state, to defend this guy for a boyfriend and girlfriend argument that went too far? I mean,
And at the end of the day, once it gets into the hands of the state, I always tell my clients it's a little too late. Once you get here and you meet me, we are having a different conversation.
Exactly. Now we got to play the game. And once the train starts, how many people can get in front of the train and stop it? I tell my clients that but I feel like this is what the law protects against, though, Judge Fields. It's because essentially we walk willingly outside every day expecting somebody not to rob us. You expect a common courtesy with the people whose home you're in to say, when I'm ready to go, and everybody knows me, when I'm ready to go and I say I'm ready to go, I waste no time. If you turn around and be like, hey, Vivian, I'm still talking, I'm gone. So for him,
I hate to use the slippery slope argument, the domino effect slippery slope, but here we go. There's a concept in law, audience, and our Regina Nunley is, hi, Regina. Regina, once we start something, everybody uses that defense or that ploy, the domino effect, the slippery slope. So once we start with girlfriends or boyfriends being made to kind of uncomfortably do something they don't want to do, we call 911. The argument in the back, and this guy saying, watching the TV, and the girl said, no, she's probably playing up a little bit. Now we're in the system. I don't know if there's something that the system should address or could address. Mm. Oh, he is under influence and he didn't cause them any imminent harm. Ooh, I don't know if harm is a factor, Ms. Harden. I don't think that's an element. Okay.
In false imprisonment, you are not required to cause harm. I don't even think they have to be in fear. This is off cuff, mind you. I didn't get a chance to go over the statute, but I don't think they have to be in fear either. It's just, I want to leave. You obstructed me from all of the exits in order to get out, and I was unable to be removed from the situation.
Yeah.
And would you try to talk to the prosecutor to say this is not a real case, or the case it is, and you just work with a plea kind of bargain, if you will? Former prosecutor speaking here to two public defenders.
Was reading your mind. She said that would be a call from the prosecutor. I agree. I
think the way these conversations go is this feels more like a familial dispute. I don't think we need to be involved in this state. What do you think?
I feel like I want to know, can somebody answer me this question, though? Let's see. I'm coming out of the charges portion. Can somebody please tell me why chose Roots?
What now?
Why did he choose Roots of all the, racism storylines to tell? It was like, I'm gonna make you watch Slavery. Like, we don't talk about that one enough. Like, no, we didn't know that one. Now, mind you, I know that books now are starting to call slavery forced migration. I want to throw that out there too. So apparently, books now in history are deciding that instead of calling a spade, they want to call slavery forced migration, to soften the blow, I believe.
Well, that is a situation. Regina Nunley, who is also an assistant public defender, comments that would be a call from the prosecutor. In your law-related careers, do you ever try to talk the prosecutor into a completely different charge? Okay. Tell them, okay, this is not this is this. Okay, all right. As opposed to negotiating as opposed to negotiating the charge as it is. Okay, very good. Ms. Harden says she loves Roots. Well, why Roots? I don't know why Roots. Because it's
just slavery. Maybe the 13th. I don't know. I don't think it would have helped her understand her racism.
That would have been a good one. The 13th Amendment one. Right
there.
Yeah.
Look at your ancestors.
Yes.
Roots, I don't know.
I don't
know my Roots. Well, he's drunk, so I think he should probably do some community service and 100 apologies, and she needs to have a victims advocate and maybe some counseling classes and better decisions. And I don't know. I agree with Attorney Perry. Should we really the the court system really get involved in this. I don't know. But when it comes to us as a prosecutor and judges, assistant public defender, it is what it is. But I don't know if this is the kind of thing that I don't know we should get involved in. I don't know.
Regina said, which version of Roots? They did not specify, and I'm gonna throw something out here, Regina. It is likely I'm gonna get in trouble for this. White people wrote this article, so they have no idea that there's multiple versions of it.
They're saying, what do you mean, which version? Oh. Huh?
Just say.
Yeah.
I wonder what other ones. Oh, Regina's kind of thinking what I said. I wonder what other ones they could have. I agree with you, Shantae. I think they could have done the 13th Amendment one by Ava DuVernay.
Mhm.
I think that would have been a good one. Regina said they should have showed 12 years. Well, we gotta go to slavery, Regina, to talk about racism. I think we know that was racism.
How you get white people to understand racism? Like, they feel attacked when we start talking. That's why they want to call it forced migration now.
Oh.
So we gotta come at that a different angle.
Oh yeah. We want to hear. Cinda Williams said, Regina, what would be your spin on the charge? Yeah, we want to hear from you guys. In the state of Florida, there is a plethora of statutes you can break. You can break things in the state of Florida you didn't know you were breaking. Like palmetto berries. You can't.
They're endangered species.
You cannot eat palmetto berries in the state
Disturbing
of
the turtle mound.
I didn't know that until I had a client with a misdemeanor for picking palmetto berries without a license.
Yeah.
I said, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I had to go read up what palmetto berries were.
What would Regina's spin be on the charge? Or would Regina think we should charge him at all? I mean, she has a lot of experience.
I don't know. I'm betwixt because I kind of feel like he does need a consequence for his negative actions of keeping someone again, because no one wants to be stuck in a place they don't want to be and maybe in some sort of fear. Now, we don't know that she was or wasn't, but if he's drunk and he's acting out of his mind, we can only imagine that there's some form of fear here. But I agree with you guys that this probably could happen from a familial aspect. Yeah. She said my spin would be to drop the charges.
I agree.
Pretty quickly. But and he's been arrested. He's been charged. He's had to hire a lawyer or have a lawyer appointed to him. So now he's aware of my actions, my bully actions, my actions over the top as a boyfriend, whatever, can be criminal. And that's a important lesson for everybody. Therefore, the grace of God will any of us, that fine line between I'm just doing this good for you or I'm breaking the law. I mean, it's just like speeding over the 5 limit. Police may let you go. 10 minutes, you got a ticket. 10 miles, you got a ticket. So it's the same kind of thing. We all get in those situations, most of us, that just a turn, we would have been charged with something else.
I agree.
And so I think that's a lesson we all need to learn from.
I agree. Really quickly, I'm going to throw in here a shout out to myself. Don't judge me for this, judges. Ann Harden, love your hair wrap. Lydia Dix, Vivian Williams, is so beautiful hair wrap. Oh my God!
I tell you, fabulous. You look marvelous. Then I said, I don't look so bad myself, but you look fabulous. And I want to throw a little personal plug shout out too. Attorney Shantae Perry is my actual niece. She's my family member. She's a licensed member of the bar, and I swore her in. She's bright, intelligent, she's fun-loving, and single. Oh, you probably didn't want me to say that. Oh, sorry about that. I'm trying to. Okay, don't mix
all
it.
All your business on Front Street.
No, don't mix it. Vivian is too, but don't mix it. Sorry.
All your business on Front Street.
I'm so proud of her, and I think some of our cousins are watching. Your mother's probably watching, and that's just thank you. I'm so proud to have you. Thank you.
Okay, so somebody said, I don't know, drop it. It sounds like the drunk guy. Ann Harden says it sounds like the drunk guy we have in every.
But there was a 12-year-old involved, right?
That scares me though. It's the kid. It's the child. That's what my brain was going to.
Yeah.
But I know you as assistant public defenders, and I know me as a prosecutor have taken the victim to the side or the defendant to the side and say, you need to watch your actions. There's a child involved in this. Regardless of what the law does right now, your role is to protect the children. We've all taken that robe off, a gavel off, or the lace off, and talk to the people of human beings and say, you need to protect the child better than what you're doing. Ah, Cinda Williams. Say, proud of you, ladies.
You.
Thank you.
Say, thanks, mommy.
That's mommy?
Oh,
Oh, that's mommy. Great.
Okay,
Great.
so topic number 2 is going to get a little sad, and then we're going to go back to some of the fun stuff, guys. So topic number 2 is the jaywalking death. This one hurt, guys. So quick overview. So essentially, there was a guy who was walking across the street. Jaywalking, for those who do not know what that term legally means, jaywalking means that the light is green and you started walking while the light is green. Now, the reason why this is considered a charge for those who are like that silly is because you are essentially considered obstructing the flow of traffic. And it can cause problems with you. Someone may be getting hit, car accidents, many other aspects that, people we prefer to keep out. So they made a law for it called jaywalking. And this guy jaywalked and unfortunately came into a very negative contact with the police that left him shot. And unfortunately, he is no longer with us. He is deceased. I'm gonna let y'all take this one. I'm gonna just sit because
Well, I like the way you started out, something about laws. You said something, and I wrote down some laws are silly. And I guess regardless of whether we understand them, like them, agree with them, things that are against the law, and we violate them, may get us in trouble. So as a judge, a real judge in real life before I retired, I used to tell people all the time, whether I like it or don't like it, whether I agree with marijuana, don't agree with marijuana, agree with abortion, don't agree with abortion, agree with same-sex marriage, don't agree with the same-sex marriage, I don't make the laws. And you don't make the laws. The legislators make the laws, and the judges enforce it, and the public defenders defend you, and the prosecutor's role is to prove your guilt. And so when Judge Vivian says sometimes the laws are silly, sometimes they are. I can make that comment now. Sometimes the laws are silly, disturb turtle mounds, but I presume the legislators have a point for each law. And Judge Vivian just touched on the law about the traffic light. It is a dangerous situation. Now, how we handle our compliance with the law and how the police handle the compliance with the law is always an issue about unnecessary force or something that we have done to put ourselves in harm's way. Nobody likes the end call of anything to be a fatality. But when you look at kind of what happened in this situation, it's a mixture of everything. It's a mixture of a guy maybe a little intoxicated, maybe not as intelligent as the officer gave him credit for, kind of saying, what am I doing? What do I do wrong? What do you mean jaywalking? What do I do? What do I do? And it ended up in the officers kind of reaching out to touch him, and the man being, I'm just the word, super sensitive, hypersensitive, being touched. I didn't actually see the touch, but he just said, don't touch me, they touch me. And sometimes in some stops or calls, the defendant or the perpetrator will say things like, don't touch you, not actually be touched, because that drama they've seen on TV. So it was a combination of the guy being confused. What did I do? And maybe a combination of the guy didn't understand this is not the time to confront the police officers. This is not the time to be totally aggressive. And I've told people since 1995 when I graduated law school, on the scene, this is not the time to be the bad butt. This is the police officer's territory. You can question him, and you have a right to question him, but you understand that they come to a stop and a scene with their own bias, prejudice, bad day, commands, standing in the law, not understanding the law. And we have two situations that the officer says, I told you to stop and sit down. And the black man saying, sit down for what? I didn't know anything wrong. You need to explain to me because I'm not sitting anywhere. Struggle ensued. We hear two shots, two pops, not shots. The gun goes off twice and the person died in a combination of an imperfect storm.
Yeah, the video is very drastic, so I didn't want to play that. It's a little dramatic and it's sensitive, so I didn't want to play that. But I agree with something that you just mentioned, Judge, and Marcus McCoy hit on it here. Sometimes the enforcement of the law is oftentimes the larger problem. And I know I'm probably going to get a little flack for this. I'm working with the public defender's office. However,
However,
I have definitely seen some moments where I'm watching the Axon cameras, and I have actually personally asked some of the officers.
And the Axon cameras are what, Judge Vivian?
And I will explain. The Axon cameras, for those, it's our shortened legal term for the cameras that the officers wear on their physical person. They can clip it to their shoulders. They can clip it to their necks. They can clip it there. And the problem that I have, and I have actually sat down with a few officers that I'm familiar with, being that I'm around them very often in my profession. And I said, have you recognized that sometimes you escalate the situation beyond what it should? Mind you, you are talking to unarmed people. Most officers have at least 6 weapons strapped to them. You have a taser, you have a baton, you have an automatic, you have a whip, you have a mace. You have at least 5 to 6 weapons already attached to you. There already is a negative connotation around what you do. You are considered the person that has the power in this particular relationship. And sometimes in doing what you do, you should be the quote unquote bigger person all the time. That's your job, is to de-escalate. But I find oftentimes on these body cameras that the officers are the ones who escalate these situations. They poke the bear, and they could have pulled back, not cursed the person out, shoved them, screamed, hollered. And I feel like this is one of those where I'm kind of in a mix. And then I go to the other thing that Judge Dawn said, where she said, this is not always the time to you be the screaming person just because you have the right to do so. I have often told some clients, was it necessary though?
And lady, stop screaming when your man's getting arrested. You ain't got no power on the roadside. Yeah, put on the shades. You don't arrest my boyfriend. Oh, that's all you had to say, lady. Of course. Release him from the handcuffs. Stop screaming on the roadside. You ain't got no power. Okay, I said it. I'm done. Hey.
But tell people, likely a lot of people have never come in contact with police officers. Can we really tell them how to act in that moment? I remember the first time I ever got pulled over by a police officer, I did not expect to feel such fear or to have my heart beating so fast. I'm in law school, you know, I'm educated, and all I can remember was I'm just going to be as polite as possible and XYZ, and that's where I revert to. But can you expect that of everyone, especially when it's I'm not doing anything wrong? Or let's be real, half the time jaywalking is a very selectively enforced it's a municipal ordinance here. Even right now, we walk across the street to get lunch every day. I see officers walking across the street to get lunch every day, jaywalking. So it's very selectively enforced. And then to get arrested for not following a command, now it's escalating, and it's just I'm asking for an explanation. I've had to go to trial on so many resistings where it's my client was just asking for an explanation and you escalated it. And you can't expect lay citizens to know how to deal with the police. And the police officers are on the streets day after day. And like you said, what do they have to be scared of when they have, you know, all of these resources and a whole partner? It's just, I don't like when we put the burden back on just a lay citizen.
Exactly, because the lay citizen doesn't have the training, the responsibility to the public that the officers have. And that, for me, is the problem that I often feel like I find myself in is I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, while I understand that the layperson should have, and I want to go back to this comment, when the handcuffs are on, be quiet. You're already under
I
arrest.
like that. I
There
like
is
that.
nothing, no
Listen, don't talk.
that will change. I tell my clients this all the time. When the handcuffs are on your body, there are no things that you can say at that particular instance that will stop an officer. I actually had a warrant recently served on a client, and an officer did something on that warrant that I did not think was a legal thing. I was on my own officer. He told me, I told him my capacity, gave him my bar number and everything, and he still moved forward. Now, mind you, I filed an emergency hearing the next day because, as I said, public defenders know what they're doing. And we went to a hearing. So he didn't officially get away with it, but that's what I mean when I'm like, the handcuffs are on you. Wait, let me do my job later. Unfortunately, I hate to tell you, whatever night in jail you're going to have to spend, it's going to be really sad. I'm not even going to take that from you. But in the argument portion, don't allow them to help you escalate, even when they're escalating. And sometimes, even though it burdens you, you're trying to figure out what's going on. I agree with Regina. I'm now having a lot of clients too that are doing fleeing and eluding because they're like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how to encounter police officers. I don't know how they're going to respond. As Shantae said, I have been pulled over as a public defender, and I still am like, ooh.
My hands are up here. Public defender card.
My hands are up here. Now, once again, this is not legal advice, but I do want to throw this out here. If you do come into contact with the police, one of the first things not to do is reach for anything. Do not reach for anything until asked a question first. Let's start there. Secondly, I would say keep your hands visible at all times. If you want to put them up, I'll show myself right now. If you want to put them up, or if you want to stick them out the window where they're like this, that's what I would suggest. And then I would suggest you remain polite and calm. Even when they start screaming, keep your voice at an even kill. If you have to count to 10 or call Jesus, be quiet.
He's always on the main.
What's asked, and make sure that you try to stay as safe as you can, and you don't unfortunately end up like this guy who was shot. But getting back to what I was saying, I feel like they escalate a lot, and their body cameras have shown it. And sometimes I've even had officers that scream, "Stop resisting." My client's not resisting. No, it's not happening.
Well, the resisting without violence, once again, we're not legal advice. The resisting without violence is anything that slows, hampers, impedes an officer with going about his normal affairs. For example, an officer stops me, and just like the lady said, my hand is on the wheel. Officer, I have a gun in my car. I have a 380. It's loaded, it's on the floor, and there's one in the chamber. I'm telling you right then and there. My hands are on. I'm not looking at you. I'm not confronting you at all until you say, step out of the car, let me see the gun, do you have a permit? And then you are allowed to ask officers some reasonable questions. Officer, why did you stop me? And if he says license registration, give him license registration. Not, I said, why did you stop me? So now you're turning this maybe a 30-second traffic stop into a minute and a half. And it's quickly, I talk about right on the edge. It's quickly now the officers say, you're resisting my arrest because you're impeding my normal flow of what I'm doing. I was just trying to say, slow down. And now I have to confront you. And yeah, you may get some ticket or arrest for resisting without violence. Ask your name. He's allowed to ask your name. He's allowed to ask demographic questions. Where are you going? Have you been drinking tonight? There's no Fifth Amendment privilege in your name. That's not a self-incrimination in your name. So he's allowed to ask you those questions. But when you start talking about why you asked me that, none of your business. I'm not telling you anything. Trust the system. And I know sometimes it's hard because all of us have been stopped and all of us are scared. Trust the system. Trust that the system will hear you out at the appropriate time. On the roadside is not the time. I remember being a prosecutor and I was on the beach side, but all the prosecutors think drinking. I don't drink. I've never drank. I'm 62 years old. I don't drink. I've never drank. I went from the bar area to the beach side, and the officer said, "Didn't you see that sign that says no glass on the beach?" I had a plastic cup, and I thought, okay. And I went inside, hurt, crying, scared, upset. I got his name. I reported him, and he was not allowed to work that beach area tourist again until he got some retraining. That was years ago, but it was upsetting. But one of the good things I like about this show, Judge Vivian, you can see we're all human. We all have the same fears and biases and prejudice, and so we know what you're going through. But trust the system to work as much as you can.
Agreed. I can agree with that. You guys want to go to the next topic, or you want to keep going? We'll ask our audience. You want us to keep going
Yes.
to this particular topic, or do you want to do our topic of the week?
I don't have a summation on that. That was just like a perfect storm. I've watched the video from angles like there was a video from a store, the police officer's video. I don't think it was Axon. I think the car video, and a bystander's recording. And it's just it was an unfortunate incident that something happened. Two shots rang, and a person was killed from jaywalking.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where, like I said, I feel like we need to get to a space where we just figure that whole connection out. And I know it's I have to say, and a lot of people may not like this particular thought process, but I think it is hard on officers right now. But I think that a lot of that has to do with officers. And if you want to change your image, who changes it? It's not me. Mm-hmm. It's not other common citizens. It's officers. So if you think, oh, I'm not one of them, well, then tell your buddy who rides in the car with you, man, that was a little rough. You could have pulled back. I mean, you don't have to scream and reprimand him and give him to HR, but you can, if they're your friend. I have told a few. I've had a colleague come to me. You was a little touched there. You should have went a little bit too far. But then I also agree with what Regina says here. Officers are people too. So I feel like their fears are just as valid. And I think that there should just be a lot more listening, a lot more calmness happening in those situations. But I personally feel that I give more responsibility to the officer in those situations, because they're the ones who are supposed to be trained for situations that have high levels escalation. They're the ones who are supposed to know how to deal with things when they're at a high level. So I
think everybody could be a little bit more humble. Officers, judges, public defenders. It can be a little bit more, if I say something to offend you or I confuse you, let me explain to you right now. The deceased person would have said, I just want to get an understanding. His voice was rather loud and pitched. He was aggravated. He was obviously aggravated. No one deserves to die. No one deserves to die in this situation. But he was a little bit aggravated, and the officers were a little bit maybe pushy. So that was an imperfect storm. But everybody can be a little bit more humble. You all, as assistant public defenders, you're tasked with a certain responsibility. But I know these clients sometimes get on your last nerve, the things they do. And so if everybody could be a little bit more humble and tolerant and loving, I think everything would be a little bit better. Your job would be easier. My job would be easier. Officers always be. Do the officers want the public to fear them? Before I became a judge, I read something. I think Mary McLeod Bethune or maybe Oprah Winfrey or something said, "People who lead by fear, people should be led by respect. I want you to respect me, not fear me. If you respect me, just like you respect God, you're going to do the things that you're supposed to do. You're going to be honoring me. You're going to be cherish me. I don't want you to fear me. I want you to respect me." What's your take as young lawyers? Do you want your clients to fear you? No. Probably some days.
No, not ever really, because for me, I think if you have respect, everything falls into place. I think that is the biggest problem with race relations right now, gender issues. The biggest issue is not love. It's not care. It's not tolerance. It's respect. You don't respect the other person enough not to do something, because if you had the respect, everything else would fall into place.
Oh, let me throw this out. This is really hard. Some member of the House has a transgender daughter, and she put the American flag, and this is a transgender flag in front of the door of the chambers to another congressman that didn't like transgender. That other congressman has a hard time respecting the transgender, and she made some sort of lewd comment like, the sexes are male and female. Read the Bible. That's it. And so the mother of the transgender female, I think transgender female, transgender male, had a problem with that. So it's hard for the person to respect something. I don't know if respect is the issue. Can I respect the transgender if I don't believe in the transgender?
Yes.
This congresswoman.
Yes.
Okay.
Because respect is not about your beliefs. Respect is about treating them as a human being, point blank. God made all human beings, whether you like the decisions or not. At the end of the day, you ain't create nan bit of this, because we don't understand nothing about the body. And every time we go to probe at it, we fail. Look at COVID.
Yeah.
That wasn't a shock enough to the system to tell us you were in control of nothing.
Nothing.
But respect what I created. At least respect it. That's a level of, I still think respect is the key.
Okay.
You show respect. Sorry.
No, go Shante, go Shante.
I just say you show respect in different ways. Sometimes it's as simple as minding your business, or
nice. She shaded me. My own niece shaded me. Oh, Judge Pam, that's kind of minding your own business. I was a hypothetical. Yes, she shaded me. My only family member shaded me.
But no, sometimes it's like,
that's true. That's true. I respect you by leaving you alone. I respect you by letting you live your life. Wow. I like that.
I call it the levels of minding your own business.
Judge Vivian, Alexis Farrow had a comment.
Alexis, she's one of our clerks. She says, I feel like when you put your hands up immediately, an officer might assume there is a reason why, and it's not always out of fear. They may see it more as an admission of guilt. I think a lot of officers automatically find guilt point blank because they think they're right. So I don't but I can see what you're saying. I can agree somewhat with that, because I guess that's like the kid saying, as soon as mom walks in the door and both children in the room and one child is like, I didn't do it.
Okay. Well, this I like these discussions because it just gives different perspective on the same issue. I like this. I like these discussions.
I'm gonna read this last comment, but I really want to get to this last topic because you guys, I'm gonna preface it when I get there, but this one is one I really wanted to talk about, this last topic.
Okay.
So Cindy said, I agree, Judge, Mom. Hi, Mom. I agree, Judge. We all have to step back and see everyone's side of the issue and respect each other. You have a position of power and still do your job efficiently. I like it. Okay.
Like it.
So I'm going to now discuss the third topic, you guys. Now, I am going to go ahead and preface this by saying it is very possible that I need to repent for the laughter that I have exuded since reading this article and finding about it on the news. I will also say that I have many questions that people will question my levels of conversation. However, I'm gonna say it. So I call it the wheelchair robbery. And here's the gist. So a woman in an electric scooter decided that she wasn't exactly happy with not getting her money in a bank. And they were taking too long. And she wanted them to give her the money. And so she threatened to do them harm, and basically was like, what's the Rihanna song? Blank, but I have my money. She was not excited about not having her money. So she stole money after she threatened to harm the people in the bank. And then she got away on her scooter, and they found her hours later. Yes, I said that. A wheelchair scooter. They found her.
All you can say is,
I'm putting out shade for myself. I'm gonna keep these on for the rest of the time that we talk about this, because I intend to throw all the shade.
You're gonna shade yourself, huh?
Because my biggest question here, ladies, and I know I probably shouldn't ask this question, but I have a lot of them. Question number one: how did she get away on a scooter?
How?
She had a motor on that thing. She must have.
Jetpack on the scooter? Or the clerks were saying, I know she just didn't. That's number one. Now, was the robbery silent? I mean, did she just go to one teller and say, just give me my money?
I'm sorry.
Don't let nobody in a wheelchair threaten me.
You knocked me out. You knocked me out of the. I couldn't even stay in the camera with that one.
Don't let nobody in a wheelchair. I'm not gonna let myself. No, I can't. I have some questions for Jacksonville PD.
I have many questions. Like, did the officer who was supposed to be like monitoring, was he too heavy to run?
The security guard at the door said, wow, really?
Right. So I'm not. I don't get paid for this. Not today.
I'm not laughing, woman. Was she charged with? She was actually charged with robbery
and possession, because she had, of course, some drugs on her.
I think it was armed robbery too.
Of course.
Mind you, I don't think she had a weapon. I don't believe that they found a weapon. At least the story is still unfolding, mind you. So I don't know all of the details. I don't believe they found a weapon. But ding, 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 ding. Once again, we are not your attorneys, and I'm only talking about Florida law right now. Yes, in the state of Florida, you can be charged with an armed charge, even if they do not find a weapon. If someone says that you had a weapon, and here's the cute part that a lot of my clients don't understand. If you use your hand, so if you put your hand under your shirt, and you are holding it in a gun-like position, you can be charged with armed robbery in the state of Florida.
You know, and that gets back to the point that you said some laws are silly, but the fear that you put in me when you are in the bank holding something under your scarf or your jacket, I don't know that you're saying I'm not going to hurt anybody. I don't know that. And so that instills fear in me. And I think that's one of the elements that I'm well, it's for the assault, unfair. And so what you think is so harmless, you just got your money, it winds up something serious. And we talked about before that sometimes on that borderline between something's okay and something's not okay. And now you're charged with felonies, which at the baseline in Florida are punishable by up to 5 years in prison, the third-degree felony, the simplest felony that we have. So, you're going to be scooting across the lunchroom table in your high-powered wheelchair in prison.
We're already talking about a scooter. I told you I need to repent for the questions.
Gosh, unbelievable.
I'm trying to figure out, did she install the newest engine?
Like a turbo? I don't know.
Was he running alongside her and then he tripped?
Yeah. And reminds me of being in college and college kids doing these silly pranks. They think nothing's going to happen to it. It was not that serious. And here we go. Oh, I didn't.
But no, somebody please tell me. Please, somebody tell me. Like, did it live? Did it have the hydraulics on it?
You still trying to figure out, and she's going to wind up being your client. Da-da. We are at 50 minutes, Judge Vivian. We are at 50 minutes.
Oh, guys, I've had way too much fun with this.
Yeah.
It's the
Nice.
turbo for me too, Sydney.
Nice.
It's
The turbo.
Turbo.
Nice.
Weigh in, guys. What are you thinking about this topic before we leave you? We're down to our last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And so we want to know what you think about this topic before we leave you. And so while I'm waiting for you guys to make a comment, it's I have a Black history.
Not the hydraulics.
Little shade that I have on this topic. Jesus, we are in Black history, so I do want to throw out a Black history topic. I went back to another attorney that represented Martin Luther King on our last one, and so today I'm going to come a little forward and I'm going to talk about Angela Rye, who is over impact strategies. I had the opportunity of learning quite a bit about her. She's been featured on CNN, C-SPAN, many international networks. She is a criminal law-based attorney. So she does what we do, defend people in the criminal aspect. And she's been doing it now for over 10 years. I want to give a shout out on our show today for Miss Rye being a part of Black History Month and being able to discuss some great attorneys, great Black attorneys in this arena. I am so thankful to have Miss Perry, Miss Shantae Perry, when our public defender, Ninth Circuit, right?
Yes, Ninth Circuit.
Nice.
From the Ninth Circuit, who joined us today.
Yes.
We had very much so had a lot of fun talking to you guys about this topic and about the many topics that we had tonight. Personally, I'm still stuck on the wheelchair robbery.
Leave that woman alone.
I just want y'all to put me on the prayer list because I'm a nigga.
Leave that woman alone.
Okay. Let me know that case.
Leave her alone.
It's just not my county.
Yes, it's gonna wind up in one of your all's docket.
It's not my county. I'm gonna tell you what county it was.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's Duval County, guys.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
She had hydraulic something on that car. I think I know what it was. I think the officer just didn't see her.
Get off the lake. You're all having way too much fun with this woman's woes.
I'm sorry, Jesus. All right, guys. So we have had quite a bit of fun. Oh, we do have a last minute comment. Somebody said Duval dropped the ball.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Someone said it is very encouraging to watch you guys. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh,
Appreciate
thank you.
it.
Thank you.
We thank you.
As a 1L.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, 1L is the first year of law school. We refer to ourselves as 1L, 2Ls, and 3Ls. And so Ms. Parr is in her first year of law school. Keep going. It'll get easier. That first year, you just say, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know I was so simple and silly and hard to understand anything." It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. About that 2L, it gets a little bit easier. And 3L, you're concerned about a job, but keep going there. Hang in, 1L. Hang in.
For you for coming out in a pandemic.
Yes.
It's a different time now for the 1L.
Tough.
Oh, and be okay. My greatest advice is be okay with knowing you know nothing.
And be okay of being middle of the class. What do they call a lawyer who makes D's all through law school? A lawyer. Oh, did you say a judge? Oh, shade me again. Oh, gosh. My niece said you call him a judge. Shade me, shade me.
I love you.
They still call you a lawyer at the end of it all. So hang in there. Hang in there.
All of our bar cards look like this.
That's it. I like it. All of them. That's a good thing. Good.
Thank you, ladies. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Don't forget, we are here every second and fourth Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Join us. We'll have some current events to discuss with you. Bye.
Thank you so much.